We're live.
We're live.
And we are live. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Dithra the Wild North. My name's GM Omen, aka Gon, aka. At the end of every month, the last Friday of each month, we'll be doing this kind of mini series within the main storyline that Val or GM Val here does every Friday. You can tune in 8:30 Eastern time, give or take. Our schedule isn't as tight as we'd like it to
Take.
be, but hey,
We're
that's
here.
life.
Yeah.
We are here. That's right. Um, so with all that out of the way, we'll get into the events that led us here. And just a quick recap. Last session, it was the team basically coming through Erden Pass and meeting a giant troll. This thing's towering 25 feet tall, covered in hair, stark naked, and negotiations begin. And Zawinia and a couple of other people from the Ebon Hawk, um, specifically, Sadiq and Quintus Varus. They came in and they're like, look, we want to do some negotiation. Let's see at the very least we can try to talk our way out of this. Zawinia gives it a go, but doesn't work out so well. Sadiq slides in. They do communicate, and the terms for passing the troll's toll was. Does anybody have the note?
I'm loading in roll 20 now. I should have it. Give me two shakes and a shimmy.
All right. When you
Um,
get it, that's inspiration.
all
I'll
right.
wait for you.
Coming. Loading it now. All right. So you said the
It
note
was
for the
like
troll.
half our horses, half our food, something like that.
Yeah, the troll's toll. He asked for
Specifically,
four things with four specific quantities.
I remember. Yeah, like I don't have that written down, but I do remember it being like horses. Like half our
Goats.
supplies. I think isn't of cattle too. It was horses, cattle. I think.
Close. All right. No inspiration. I'll fill you in. It's good. It's good.
I forgot
That's
those.
why we do these recaps. The troll soul, you're right. You're on the right. He wanted 10 goats, 10 horses, 10 yak, and 10 men or slaves. Uh, Zawini and Sadiq and the whole company not having any slaves and also needing those horses and yak just to get across this place said, well, fuck that. Didn't work out. They stepped away. Um, Ariovistus, the old grizzled commander of the Ebon Hawk, he said, well, let's just fuck him up. And everyone said that is a bad idea. And he's trying to play it cool, but everybody left. Quintus Varus, trying to figure out a better way to deal with the situation, decided let's get a few expeditions together so they can find alternate routes. Our normal characters here, Liam, Zawinia, and Gorm, they found themselves having to make a decision between three potential party leaders. They decided to go with a man named Amos. He was a blacksmith and a soldier who outfitted them with some gear. And they headed off into the mountains. I think you guys went southwest or westerly,
And then we get an
looking.
avalanche.
Yeah, looking for a way around. Uh, Bad luck strikes. They hear an avalanche and it blasts through where they are. Zawinia and Liam are nimble enough or quick of mind enough to get the fuck out. Zawinia climbs a tree. Liam dodges behind a rock. But poor Gorm, who had the shits from, yeah, he was so sick. He was like playing out in the rain looking for rocks, got sick in the bitter cold. He was just too weak to get out of the way, and the damage sustained broke his body underneath pounds and pounds of snow, including the horse that they came traveling with. Everybody picked themselves up. It was a short session. Picked themselves up and headed back to camp defeated. At the very least, they had their lives. But did you guys bury Gorb?
He was still buried on the snow, right?
Yeah, I wasn't sure if you guys tried to dig him out or anything. No, he okay. He got left where he lay. We play it where it lays.
Yeah, that's what
And
I
the
remember.
party makes it back several hours later, exhausted, cold, beaten up. They slide into camp, and it's evening when they do, and they pass out. And we're on the next day, and you guys wake up. Zawinia, what are you doing after the events of last night or yesterday?
We still got to find a way through the past, right? Wasn't that the whole point? I thought, could be wrong. I thought
Ask
we
questions.
already left and did something, right? I thought that was the day before, and we did something else after that, right? I could be
No,
wrong.
no. You
I
guys
think
are.
we left the past. We made it back to camp, and that was it.
Yeah, I had to tap out. It was a short session.
Yeah.
Okay, well then, yeah. We don't have a way to get around, so we got to find a new pass or make a new pass, right? Or make a new way or find around it.
Yeah, or figure out another way to deal with this troll. You do know that two other expeditions were sent off. You guys were gone a day, so it may take them a couple days. You don't know, but they are searching for alternate routes. You can get some people together and try it again, but it's just the two of you now.
I don't think any of us are actually survivalists, right?
No, you
Because
guys
Liam's
decided not to go with Batu, the known survivalist.
yeah, I think Liam's a clergyman, right?
Liam is a cleric. You are a merchant. Amos, I mean, he's a blacksmith and a soldier. He's tough, but he didn't know about those
We got
avalanches, did he?
a cleric and a blacksmith. Holy, this is gonna be interesting. Yeah, so to make a long story short, um, yeah, I mean, I would go to Liam and say, they're not particularly smart. I think we roll for that. They're not very smart. Maybe we could trick it, I guess, because I think you said the stories that they told, or my notes, that they're not very smart. At least what we know, or at least that's what somebody knows, and they told.
The opposite. She had assumed that and thought that, but realized during the negotiations it spoke more than one language. The stories don't necessarily call them stupid. They're just ignorant of the ways of people, if that makes sense. Yeah, he knows enough. He could be tricked. I mean, you guys are really clever. No one's untrickable.
No. But yeah. That's what I had to take my notes. All right, I go.
You're good. It's these monthly sessions is going to happen.
Updated note.
I can't get players to remember like the previous day. Like, what happened in the last hour? I don't know. It's like, dude, what are you? Anyway.
Were you here? Were you live? No, dude, I do that.
I hate that they're in battle. They're like, what's happening? You're like, dude, where did you go? Like, I just ran a dungeon and WoW. You know,
dude,
and that's 5E's combat for you.
I would just pull out my pocket, just hold my pocket. We'll get there. But yeah, I will go to Liam and say, so it says that is looking for cattle and people like that. I was suggesting I think I suggested like a Trojan horse or something like that. Like we make a fucking thing out of like a big horse and be like, this is worth the equivalent of that, and fill it with meat and shit, right?
You want to trick him with fake animals?
No. Okay, so
I think the team shot that one down. Unless you want to bring it up again. I mean, I think the concern was like, who the fuck's going to build it?
Yeah.
You got a priest and a merchant over here.
All right, well, all right, well,
Ariovistus did look pretty confident that he could take this thing on.
Yeah, okay,
I mean, maybe if they attack it at night. I
Yeah.
can
Ain't
see
no
where they
fucking
might have a
way, bro.
chance,
It's a
but
fucking troll. Look at it. It's 25 feet tall. Have you seen the play Shadow of Colossus? You got to be a protagonist to beat something like that, dude. There's no way.
yeah,
There's no
they'd
way.
have to get the drop on it, and even if it's sleeping, who knows, you know?
It's
Listen,
true.
Zwinga says, I am 115 pounds soaking wet with a crossbow. That thing has to be at least like 12, 15 tons. At least.
Well, let me pull you guys to camp.
Yeah, I'm like, no way, bro. We gotta trick him or move past him or something. That's all I. We're not beating like at 101. There's no way.
No, no, I think a different path would be still the best way to go.
I agree.
Well, there's the other
I mean,
expeditions, or you guys can check for yourselves.
I don't know about avalanche. Like after an avalanche, can you just go and walk over that snow like it's fine?
Probably not.
I heard it's like quicksand, right? You just can sink in because some spots
You'd have to
outlined
dig
tunnels.
your way through, which is not impossible, but
But can't that also trigger another avalanche?
Yeah.
Though? If we start digging.
If
And
you
stuff?
start falling in,
I'll
yeah,
say
so
this
deep.
about avalanches: unlikely. Like if the snow in that level in the area broke, I mean, maybe if you got beyond that, that would suck. You get beyond the first one, and then another one triggers. That won't happen. I
That
promise.
would be
That's
great.
not.
Yeah,
like
yeah, that
realism.
won't happen.
Okay.
It's just a 5% chance.
It's not on the table. That's why it's not on the
Ah,
table.
okay.
It's yeah, right. Just roll football. It's like there's always a chance. No, but okay. So we should probably talk to the people here then to see what any update they have, or what the people are talking about. Then, so I'll get listen to what their ideas are, and see how dumb their ideas are, and then bounce my ideas off that. I guess that's will be Zawinga's suggestion.
Fair enough. If you're going into camp, the camp never stops. You guys all have some work to do. Maven
Isn't it?
Esther, she's set up just kind of a small area for food. You guys are pulled back from that area by like a mile and a half. So the caravan went up. You guys did negotiations. Said fuck that. We're pulling back and setting up camp.
Yeah, that's what I thought. We pretty much like, no, we can't afford that. The way my credit.
Yeah, and so the camp is set up in the way that it normally is in wide circles, but she's setting up there. Most of the workers give me a well, you don't really need intelligence. What you hear is the hands in general, all the general workers as they're getting food and kind of murmuring against themselves. They don't know what to expect. There's rumors kind of going all over the place. It's like, I heard Gorm died. The workers would know him. I heard Gorm died trying to find a place around here last night. Like, oh, no way. So some gossip there. You do hear them talking about one guy is like Ariovistus. He wants to fight these things. I know he said he wanted to get some of the Ebon Hawk together and start talking about a battle plan. I hope they don't try to get us on that. And the other guy's like, yeah, I'm not dying for fucking no reason. They pay me 10 copper a day. Fuck that.
I get paid minimum wage for this shit. They don't pay me enough.
But they do mention that he's gathering some of the people and talking about potential battle plan. They're like, yeah, I'm not trying to get drafted. In addition, the other people are talking about Batu and Halvar. Batu and Halvar are the two other party leaders. You guys know Batu is the northern survivalist, a man of few words, that helped you guys hunt down an elk. And Halvar, you just met. He is a mariner and he is an explorer. But he looked at Zawini and said, yeah, having a woman in the field's bad luck, and just refused her outright. But those guys are on expedition. So they kind of talk about them. They're wondering where they've been. It's been a day. I wonder if they found a way yet and that sort of thing. But that's really all that you hear around camp. Most people are working, getting food, minding their own business. So
Well, I wonder. I mean, is there any way that we could try to maybe have like a decoy, maybe from kind of swing around the bridge, like a small force, and they kind of pull the troll away?
you can try anything you want. Or who are you talking to about that?
I'm done You
Liam?
know, like, does that make sense? Maybe like a small lead of maybe like 10, 15 people. Try to aggro the troll and pull him away from the bridge so we can move along. They may die, but it's on. Well, I mean, if it throws a tree at them, they probably will die. But it's a chance. It'll be a lower chance of death, and I think it's probably the safest way. Because if you go on an uncharted way, that could also trigger an avalanche too, right? That's a lot of weight and a sound. Wait, then no. Oh, yeah.
I don't know if he stepped away for a
Well,
little bit.
that's what I would. That's what I would suggest at this point. I would say that. So yeah, I would talk to. I guess. Seeing I'm a female character, she would probably go to Abdul, not really fearing being drafted, even though anything's possible. She would go up to Abdul and say, um, "Excuse me, do you? Well, have you thought about sending a decoy maybe to loop around and try to pull him from, pull his attention from this direction and maybe try to force him to leave his bridge on horseback? You know, should be. He's not that fast. He ain't that fast, right? He's just big and strong.
As you enter the main tent of the Ebon Hawk, kind of the headquarters war room area, that's where you would find Abdul.
Oh man.
He's with the rest of the Ebon Hawk. They're around a war table, and Ariovistus, he's sitting at the head. Your classic, he's leaned over, his hands on the table. He's got the pipe, just large columns coming out.
Okay.
And you do say this to Abdul, and they're murmuring amongst each other, kind of talking about their battle plans. Stop. And Ariovistus gives you a stern look from underneath some furrow, like thick brows. He just says, "It's not a bad plan. Who's this, Abdul? I don't think I've met her before." And he stands straight up. Ariovistus is a big guy. He is older, and he's not massively, but he's like 6'4", 6'5", tall. He looks over to Abdul, and Abdul says, she is an apprentice that doesn't know her place to speak, but she is quite useful. Come here. And he beckons you closer, says, "Say it again."
She says, she says, why don't we send a small detachment of maybe 10 to 15 soldiers on horseback to maybe try to get the attention of the troll going around um, and try to pull him from the bridge at least long enough for the bridge for us to fully travel past. Um, you know,
And how do you expect them to get behind him on the other side of the bridge?
well, I know there's not a big enough things for us, but I mean, is it no way they could just find a small detour big enough for just horseback? That might be an option. That's what I would say.
We've got a bit of an emergency in the Mark household, so we'll continue on. But sorry, can you repeat things like how do you expect to get the guys across the other side of the bridge?
Just go around. I mean, just try to find a small pass around or a small section that they could, take the horses up and around. I'm not sure what kind of horses these are. Maybe if they're broodmare or horses that can climb, they could reasonably climb a little bit around the bridge. 10 horses maybe get around, and the horses should move faster than the troll. And once they get around, then they just pull for about they pull attention for about 2-3 miles, and that should give us enough time if we're all ready to move the camp at a brisk pace, pass and into the forest, a little bit off the road, so he does not detect anything.
And you expect him to chase them for 10 miles?
No. 2 to 3 miles.
3 miles.
2 to 3 miles. 2-3 miles. Yes.
It's possible, but what happens if he doesn't? And now all of the fighting men and all of the horses are removed. And what if he decides to take it out on the camp? They'd be sitting ducks.
How far back are we from the from the?
Like a mile and a half, but this thing's 25 feet tall. I can run a mile and a half in 3 minutes. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
if
So
that.
what if we pulled? Okay. So horses can travel what, like 30 miles a day, something like that, right?
Give or take, sure.
Okay. So what if we just pull the camp back like 10 miles, and then send the horses up 10, and then around like 2 3 miles, and then back. That should be like 20 something miles, 25-ish miles. That's well within reason, and that's there and back for horse travel. Um, Now some may die. I'm not saying there's not gonna be any casualties, but the chances of a stray horse dying from like a thrown tree is a lot looks a lot better than us losing 10 people, 10 goats, um, 10 yak, I think 10 horses and 10 men. It's a lot of people. So one or two people comparative to that, I think that's a reasonable price to pay, or reasonable risk to take, not price to pay, risk to take. She would say that.
Mm. You make a good point, but this all has one big assumption. Quintus Vera says, as he stands, that he would even care. What if he destroyed the bridge and now you're separate from the team? I mean, you can try to get away. I worry about that. I mean, it's possible. What if we had the warriors on horseback? I do like the idea. We can surprise them, go quickly. Ariovistus stands up and walks across the way. Abdul, I thought this girl was smart. It's like, that's a good plan. Nothing go wrong. He's like, I say we just rush at him, maybe take ropes, wrap his legs. I mean, this thing is quick, or this thing is slow on the feet, or at least slower than horses. I do like that idea. But what if we bound this thing and I went in for the kill?
Hmm. Yes. He looks and says, "Yeah. I mean, if you think you can kill it, by all means. Good luck. I'll be here to cheer you on if you succeed. This seems exceptionally big risk to take. I've never seen anybody kill a troll before. I didn't even know they were real.
It would take more than just me, girl. We'd have to get the people on it. I
Yeah,
mean,
I think it takes more than you and the thing. I mean, how many true fighting warriors are here? Right? Maybe like a quarter of the people here, maybe that are real fighters. Um,
the entire Ebon Hawk, but Arivissus is like, we can try your plan, and if it doesn't work, it'll be your hide.
Listen, I didn't come here because I was scared. I came here to make money. So I believe in myself and my people.
And so you'll be one of the people on horseback.
Horseback. Well, I'm kind of a merchant. She says and looks at him. I'm not really much of a fighter. Wouldn't that be a
Then
waste?
we need 10 people. If you can recruit them and find 10 people, you also need to find this path that no one knows about to get around a 400-foot gorge. There are 400-foot deep gorge. Uh,
Yeah,
that's one thing we're gonna have to find.
yeah, I get that. I just kind of worry that you're sending little old me to go and potentially die without any kind of forward progress instead of sending a much more skilled warrior. I mean, I do taxes. It's just taxes.
I'm not asking you to fight. If this plan is if we do your plan, you'll need to see it through. He looks at him. You need to find the path that you talked about, if it even exists, and then you'll have to find the 10 horsemen who are crazy enough to follow you. You have my blessing, and you have anything that you need from the Ebon Hawk, Vista says, but it's your plan. I don't think it's terrible, but I think I should my plan is better.
She
He
looks and
laughs. He's
says,
like, but I'll give you the resources.
"Okay, interesting. Okay, let me." She looks and says, "If you like, then I shall do. I am a humble servant, of course, of this caravan."
Everything okay?
Yep. It's a little freak out, but everything is fine.
Sure.
Okay, I gotta do scenes again. I gotta do thing. Can we take a break?
Yeah, we can take a 5
Yeah, let's
to
take a
get you
5 minute
set up.
break.
I'll catch you up too.
All right, so we'll take
All
a
right,
5 minute
thanks.
break, guys. We'll be back in 5. Give us a second, and see you in 5.
Cool.
That's good because you guys were talking for a while, like everybody was
And
We're good. All right, we're live. We're good.
and we're back. Sorry guys, we had a technical issues. This happens sometimes. An emergency that they got sorted. Mark is back. I'm going to do a little recap. There's some details that he needs to know, the audience needs to know as well. I filled him in on the plan, the event so far. Zawinia, she enters the Ebon Hawk's tent. It's basically a set up war room. They're going over different plans to take out this troll, and she gives a plan. Ariovistus, Abdul Quintus, they kind of challenge her a bit on it. But her holding her own, Ariovistus said, sure, we'll go with your plan. We'll fund it. Now, one thing I failed to mention, and this is my fault, you guys would have picked this up over, you've been with this caravan for some time. Someone would have mentioned it. Ariovistus is a shard bearer. So that bravado isn't fake. He would be known as Stoneheart. Um, that beyond that and why he got his name, most people don't know.
He's a shark bearer. Zawinga says, yeah, let's go. Let's go. He's a shark bearer. What are we doing here? Why are we waiting?
All by yourself, boy.
No, I mean, like.
But Ariovistus, when you mentioned that, he's like, I'm not going to go fight. He's like, what did she say? She told him, he's like, yeah, good luck. I'll watch you from the sideline. I'll cheer you on.
Yeah.
But he even told you straight up, he's like, it'll take more than just myself.
Yep, I believe you. Okay, so we'll get the whole. So she's like, well, so we'll get all the fighting men here, and he's a really big target. We'll get them like crossbows on each side and have them harass while you 1v1 the troll. You're a shark bearer. Can you like move mountains and such? I've heard strange tales of them.
He lets out a big belly laugh, and Sadiq, who's been in the corner just silently watching everybody, just starts laughing so hard. Abdul, he's a little embarrassed that you would say something like that. And you see Quintus and this man here, which you guys don't know his name. He's sitting kind of stone-faced in the back. He's got thick furs, braided hair, balding pate. And
was he there at the initial meeting? I don't remember him.
Yes, he was at the initial meeting. You guys just never talked to him. It's a pretty big crew. I want to say there's about 10 or 11 Ebon Hawk members, but he's silent as always, kind of in the shadows, but they're laughing. And Abdul, he's like, stupid girl. Have you ever seen a shard bearer in action or only heard the stories your mother told you before you went?
She says, only heard the stories my mother told me and what I've heard in the village. I mean, all I know is the Iron Emperor, and she united all of the southern Chimian Empire. So if she could do that, this guy can easily beat a troll, right?
Abdul says, I don't know about that. The Iron Emperor, she is more probably. She had how many shards did we say? She had 50 shards or something.
It was yeah, easily like 50.
Yeah, she carried 50 shards, which is one of the most known ever. Even Batar himself didn't wield 50 shards. Ariovistus has but one. He is powerful, and I've seen him at his full extent.
Yeah.
But he is just a man. However, he can take it. He can 1v1 him. And that's why they call him the Stoneheart. But he won't be able to kill him with just mortal weapons. We need to overwhelm him.
Hey, we just survived an avalanche. Isn't that something that we could cause? Could we bring the troll to an avalanche-friendly place and wipe him out like that?
It's possible.
I don't think they're gonna leave the bridge. That's the thing, right?
Yeah, he's camped.
He still
he's
needs
basically
to move.
camped out.
So
If we cause an avalanche there, then that's another problem for us.
Quintus steps up and he's like, we don't have to be so rash. We have plenty of supply. We can either wait him out, maybe he gets bored, but I would like to hear from the other expeditions. It could be a few days before they return. We could simply wait it out.
Yeah, I mean the whole attack plan can happen at any time, and if we have the supplies, then we can just wait until they come back, right? It was not a super time crunch. Ram.
Yeah, Ariovistus nods as he knocks out just ash onto the ground. He's like, "That's true. It is a last ditch effort, and that's why I say when all other plans fail, I think we can overwhelm him." It was a good idea with the horses. I don't think they're meant for combat, but these nags will do. What did you say your name was again? And Ariovistus walks over to Zawinia, uh, to the surprise of most of the Ebon Hawk, and he stands down just looking at her. How tall is Zawinia?
Dwayne is 5'5".
Oh yeah, he's almost a foot taller than she is.
Yeah, she's super huge. She's a southerner.
Yeah, he's built like Wilt Chamberlain, just long and link, just lean but
Sure,
wide.
I'll
He's got
give it to you.
big, wide shoulders, and he's like, "What is your name?"
Zoinia.
All right, Zoenia. Your plan sounds fine. Do what you can and take this. And he wrenches off like this pinky ring and hands it to you. He's like, "That's my seal. If you need anything or anyone, this will give you basically pull. But you can also keep it. You can use it to buy whatever you need. And you gain one signet ring.
All right. Open
And
I press start and
yeah, this thing is worth 500 copper pieces. It's gold.
Nice.
It is nice and thick.
Liam's gonna take a shy step forward, and be like, "Sir, if I could make a recommendation, I know we're gonna wait for the other to return from their expeditions, but in the meantime, I'm not so sure that we should trust this beast to keep to its word. I'm afraid that it'll attack us if it gets hungry. We're probably the closest thing to a meal that it has. Maybe we should fortify the place, build some long spears in case it comes, be defensible."
And who is this? And he glances over his shoulder at the group. You see Abdul just like, "I don't fucking know who this guy is." Sadiq he's like, but Quintus Varus steps forward and he's like, "This is Liam, right?"
Yeah, I'm a man of the cloth, sir. I'm just a working hand here.
Yeah, no, he's been helpful. We've been working together. Was it Liam? Stop me if I'm wrong. What it was Liam who was working with Quintus Varus, like with the map, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so he would know. He'd have
Yep.
some connection. He'd tell Ariovistus, Liam. He's found quite an interesting artifact, and from what I heard from Tuya, he's a brave soul.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Well, that was her words, not mine. Ariovistus laughs. He's like, any upstart just walking in here, talking about these plans. He's like, he looks almost like he's smiling, Ariovistus, but he's kind of feigning anger. He's just like these people just walking in here, acting like they own the place, calling out plans. I remember a time when I was young and stupid like that. I like you, Liam. That's a great idea. Go with your friend. Use that ring to get what you need and the people that you need. And let's batten down the hatches.
All right, sir. Thank you, sir. I'll do that.
And as you guys exit, they're just kind of talking, and then you fade back into the camp. And go ahead, Zonia.
She looks at the ring, puts it on, and she's like, "Kiss the ring." She's practicing. She's like, "Kiss the ring." Yeah, no. That's a little too soft. Kiss the ring, and she puts her hand forward.
If you,
Liam has done that to the church, I guess, a lot in his life. So he bends the knee and he takes your hand. And he's like, "Yes, ma'am." And he'll kiss it.
She says, "I can be a little bit more firmer in that." And she says, "Okay, I'll work on that. I got to try to get that down pack.
You find that the ring.
When you do it, you have to offer the ring in disdain and look away, like it's disgusting that they
Is
do it.
beneath you.
also
Yeah.
They're so
spit-
beneath you.
Do you spit on the side? Is that optional? It's like kiss the ring. Psst. You spit and just look at it. Hold the ring up front. I think
You gotta
I don't
you
know.
gotta pay
Give it
extra
a
for that.
try.
extra. But
You do find though when Zawinny goes to put the ring on, it was his pinky ring. It's the size of her thumb. It's just it's so big.
it makes sense. She's literally 115 pounds. She's small, so
Yeah.
yeah. She just so she was like,
he's a starting shooting guard for the fucking Bulls.
hey, for the Northern Rancho Cucamonga.
He's what, like 6'8" or something? He's huge,
No,
right?
he's 6'5", but
Okay.
just wide,
Just
and
just
big.
6'5".
Just looks
Come on.
athletic. Yeah, just 6'5". You know.
Just
He's not a forward. He's not a forward, but
he's
he's a guard. He's a good shooting
small,
guard.
small forward or a small shooting guard. But anyway, yeah. So when you would look at it, and she would tie it around her neck. She would get like some cloth, tie it around her neck, tuck it in so no one takes it or anything like that. She would go to Liam and say, what's on your agenda for today while we plan this out?
Oh, and if you guys didn't, that's 250 XP to the both of you.
Oh, yeah.
That's funding your plans.
All right, here we go. Experience
Oh, that's gonna level me
addiction,
up.
Level 1. There you go. Sick. I'm at
Can't wait to sleep.
2,275.
2065, but that's enough.
That's good. That's good.
Moving on up.
Yeah, because he's a second character, so I didn't lose out too much. It's not bad.
Like you're like 15 behind me because I'm at like.
I would say you didn't lose anything because your first character died before the encounter, so he got the first encounter.
Basically.
So
But there was like a small gap, but I did like some things also on my own. So
oh, you're right. So a little bit, but it was a little bit of work.
Like
With the map, I got some more XP when I went to the guy. So
yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, she would go to Liam and say, "Do you have any plans?"
well, now that I've been assigned this task, I guess I need to get some resources and some people to put up barricades and build some spears.
Well, I have the ring that they can kiss if anybody tries to descent. So I would like the company.
Yeah.
So I can practice.
So we'll go. I would go see the quartermaster first. We're gonna have to go see the animal mistress to requisition some horses for your plan. If we're gonna put it in motion, we should start training those horses now before we actually do it, since we have a couple days. Because he said they're not war horses, right?
Yeah,
So if they get scared and they buck and they throw off the rider, that's not helpful to us.
Most of them, there are some riding horses, but most of them are just straight up work horses. So even riding is.
Yeah. So we have a couple days. Maybe we can train them a bit while the people build up barricades and spears.
Are you a horse trainer? She looked over at Liam. I am
No,
not.
I can ride a horse just as good as you.
That's not saying much, he said.
But I'm hoping that it's Tuya, the animal master?
Yeah, Tuya.
I'm hoping that Tuya could once we find 8 or 9 other people, whether or not you participate, she could, we have a few days, she could help train the people and the horses just for this one task, if it comes to that.
I mean, she has to because we have aerial vistas on permission. If not, it's gonna have to kiss the ring.
I mean, have you seen
Zawinny's letting that supervisor role go to the head already.
Yeah. Liam is like, yeah, Tuya. I think she listens to Tuya. So.
I am a supervisor. Okay, let me do my job.
But we'll try. So we'll have to go see the quartermaster, and we'll have to go see Tuya, and we need to find people to craft barricades, spears, and some souls that are willing to throw their lives on horseback.
Yep.
So all right, what's first? What's the first plan?
Find souls, right?
I think we should go find people.
Yeah.
Or maybe go see Tuya first.
Either one, I think both of those are good starting points.
Yeah.
All right, 2 it is. Let's do
We
it.
we can't split up because we only have the one ring.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate.
Dang.
So you know what? I'm gonna tell you. You lead the way, milady. I'll follow you.
All right. I've been made party leader. Okay. She goes over to find Tuya.
So I go and stand behind you and walk
Walk,
until you walk, and then I'm just
and
stepping
I'm
like
doing like
this.
that slow NPC walk too. So you
Yeah,
walk
it's
slow.
the NPC. Like it's perfectly a perfect distance. So you run a
Yeah.
little bit, and then the chain goes. And you're like, all right.
It's like, hurry up! Why are you power walking? The
When
world
you
Or
have to change direction, you stop, and then oop, and then you start again.
Dude, don't get me started.
yeah, he gets stuck in like an edge of a wall. It's
Don't
like,
get me
your party must gather before you can.
That's like fucking Skyrim in the fucking Sky Temple with
Oh
the
yeah.
my god.
You're like, where did she what's the yeah, where did she
Delphine?
go?
Delphine?
Yeah. Yeah, where did Delphine go? Oh yeah, she fell off a mountain.
Yeah,
She's
fucking
gone.
stuck in the fucking Riverwood or whatever. But yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Anyway.
yes, we go find Tuya.
All right.
Yeah.
You guys go find Tuya. Tuya is tending the animals as she does. The way it's set up in the camp, after they've kind of circled the wagons, all of the animals are kind of pulled to one side. They circled separate, like a half wagon. So you have a main circle, and then you have like a half circle, and that's where they're trying to corral the animals the best that they can. Especially some of the wiry ones like the goats or whatever. But her and multiple people are tending to them. They've got them grazing on what they can. A lot of them are just chewing on roots, pulling apart bushes. You see her with, she's probably got 10 different people on her staff, feeding them, milking them, burying shit, all of all of the stuff you need to handle animals. And
Well, I'm
you go up to Tuya and she stares at you.
I go up to you and say, excuse me, Tuya. I've been given the role of team provisioner for this engagement here. I like to have some of your skills. We're trying to take at least 10 horses, preferably the best of your stock for when it comes to combat. If not, whatever you have. And could you, let's say, spend a little time making sure they're, a little bit more up to task, getting them, some training in that area. I'm sure you're the expert at that. And if you need any payment for that, Area Vista told me personally, as the supervising team provisioner of this expedition here, that you'll be reimbursed at a later convenience.
After Zawini gives her speech with very particular wording, very technical wording, Tuya looks at her, her one good eye looking at her, and she is completely lost. She's like, and says, "What in Northern?"
Oh man, she only speaks Northern.
Yeah, you guys have had this problem before.
For a mission.
Does she have one of the hand around that's they all speak her language, I'm assuming, but is there like a northerner around there?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ask. I'm gonna go and ask one of the guys, can one of you translate for us? We really need to speak to Tuya.
Yeah, you see one of the hands, they're further back. They kind of perk up hearing you guys speak the common language, the trade tongue. And immediately puts away their gloves and heads off to you. There's a small goat following this person. It looks like they've imprinted them. They're a young Eastern woman, or excuse me, not a woman, a young Eastern man. He's boyish. He's probably like 16, but he comes up and says, "Yeah, I can translate. My Northern's not so good. Who are you?"
We're a representative of what's his name again?
Area Vista team
Area
Vista.
Vistas.
And we need to speak to Tuya because we have a troll problem and she can help.
And then on proof, she pulls out the signet ring. I am the supervising team provisioner expert.
You see the kid's eyes get like almost like a Disney character just twinkling as they look at this thing like oh,
Yeah,
they've never
like
seen that
YouTube
kind of
thumbnails.
they've never seen that kind of wealth before. And like, oh, yeah, I can help. Sure. My name's Joel. Nice to meet
Oh,
you guys.
thank you, Joel. I'm gonna I'm gonna slip him like what's a good amount of money for him, like where I don't feel cheap, but I don't give him too much
Well, think of a day's wage is about 10 gold,
for them.
25
Okay.
if they're or copper. So
All right. I'm gonna give him 3 copper.
yeah, you take that. He's
Slip
like,
that in his hand. And I say, thank you, young man, for volunteering to help us. I appreciate people who step forward.
he's like, oh yeah, that's awesome. Thank you. And you see a couple of looks from the other hands, like this motherfucker. Not only is he slacking on the job, he's getting paid. A little jealous looks from them, but they have animals to tend to. Um, But you repeat yourself, Zawinya. We don't have to go that far. We have to say it.
Yeah.
The boy translates. You see her make a face or two at the way he says something. She says a few things in Northern, maybe to clarify. But after a while, she understands and nods. You can see visibly she understands, and then she whistles. She whistles to over to somebody to come. She says something to one of the hands who's tending to the horses, and they jolt off and start corralling some things. Uh, excuse me, sorry, the talk through a burp. They're getting some people together. She says a few words back to Joel, and Joel tells her, he's like, okay, good. She says, yes, they're going to get some. They're all well trained. She's like, all my horses are trained for work and they're trained for riding. If
Yeah.
you didn't know, Tia, she's the best in the business. She's an animal handler. She's got a pet hawk. Have you seen that thing?
Yeah, I think you told us. She sends it to scout ahead. She had hunted like one time when we went out with her.
She
Very
told
cool.
she said that back in the on the back in her home village, she had a tiger that she trained. I've never seen such
Man.
a thing, but
I think
she's the
she's lying.
best there
She
is.
can't see that. She only got a one eye, so you think she thought it
All
was
right.
a tiger, but you know, it probably was a.
Maybe that's why she only has one eye.
Yeah.
I'd like to have just a cat me. I miss
She
my
learned a
animal.
valuable lesson, didn't she? Didn't have any cats here.
Um, I'm gonna ask the boy Joel to also ask her. We're gonna need competent riders. We have 2 or 3 people in our group that like to ride. If she can give us some lessons, we want to know how many competent riders that she knows that she could provide us with.
She said we need operators, we need fraggers, we need not fraggers, we need operators, we need warriors, we need people that can, are not going to
Yeah,
run
they
and
they
fight.
need to be able to hold themselves. It's to fight the troll and explain to her that this plan is so that we don't give out half of the animals that we have right now, half of everything to this troll. So it'll be risky, but we're trying to save these animals.
And people, because you get that for 10 people too.
She doesn't
Joel
care about the people.
Joel does the best he can to translate. You see him trying to find and think of words as he's saying this to her. After some time, she speaks back to him, and he's like, "Okay, the horses will come, but she doesn't know anybody. She doesn't get out much. She doesn't like to talk to most people. I'm pretty good with the horse. We used to raise them back where I'm from. Not
Joel,
many."
if you do not sit your young butt down, go, you're not a fighter. Listen, but we do need your help. We need the barricades as well too. And we need strong shoulders and backs to dig those barricades. Could you do that for me, Joel?
No, ma'am. To you, have my hide. I've got to tend to the goats, but there's plenty of hands. I would probably check with Maven Estra. She's usually got some layabouts working for her. They probably can help out.
And she's a Westerner, right?
Maven Estra, yeah, she's a Westerner.
I send him to Liam and say, "Well, Liam, now's your chance. Um, pretty lovely woman here. I'm pretty sure she doesn't see too many men like yourself. Why don't you go and see if she can
He's a fucking man of the cloth.
hey, depends on what cloth
Yes.
we're talking about.
The
She
sheets is the kind of cloth we're talking.
she says, yes, you seem like you're well read and spoken and interesting, and she'll love that. I'm pretty sure she'll send us the best, strongest young backs to build this barricade. If you lead the way, you take lead on this one. You speak the tongue. She goes behind
Maven
you.
Esser
Yeah.
speaks the common trade language.
Yeah,
So
but if it's in Western, I think it's gonna add points.
That's
like
fair.
in character, and she would
That's true.
promote Liam as party leader in this situation.
Do do
Yeah.
do do.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I like both of my screens are black. They're shut off. Is my camera still rolling?
Yes.
Yeah, it's going. We can
Yeah,
see
but
it.
That
the
is
light
just-
is a little dimmer, I think, because that's probably what you're talking about.
Okay,
The
this is
thing,
so
but
fuck. I can't see anything. I'll have to reboot at some point.
Yeah.
Anyway, I can talk, so that's good.
Use
Okay.
your imagination.
Man,
Theater of the
this is next
mind.
level,
I'll get the
man.
descriptions going. Don't worry.
Yeah, but I won't be able to make any roll until I reboot. So
Oh yeah,
anyway.
that's
Some
that's a
bad
problem.
danger right here, dude. Go ahead.
We haven't. It's an hour in. We haven't rolled a fucking dice at all. So
Yeah, that's all right.
So,
When we get to that, we'll cross that bridge.
Yep.
Yeah. So I'll take the lead. I'll go talk to her.
Joel runs off to tend to his animals. Tuya, she shouts orders and walks away from you guys, mostly disinterested. But after some time, they do corral those horses for you, Zawinia. And they're basically set up and ready to go anytime you guys need them. You head off, you head towards the kitchens. That's where Maven Esther usually is set up during the day. It is broken down, so she has a few people kind of putting things away and that sort of stuff. And she's cleaning her hands in an apron that she unties and tosses aside and says, well, I haven't seen you two in a long time. You just missed breakfast. What can I do for you?
Yeah, we've been keeping busy. We have big plans going on. Is what's his name? His character, Jay
Gorm.
Gorm.
And the little boy, are they there working in the
Gorm
kitchen?
is Gorm's dead.
Oh yeah, that's right. He needs a new guy.
Oh, actually, you know what? She would even say that. It's like Gorm didn't show up to work. I know he was sick. Is he doing okay? Sorry, Liam.
I'm
You got to break the
sorry.
bad news.
Well, I'm sorry to tell you, but actually, Gorm, he's not gonna come again. He's not gonna come to work because he's resting now. He's in a better place. I'm gonna look to the sky and hold my heart. I'm gonna do a little prayer sign, whatever it is. I don't know what deity I'm praying to, but yeah, we got stuck in an avalanche and he couldn't find any shelter. He got buried under the snow. There was nothing we could do. We had to get out of there. We left the body, actually. Sorry to tell you.
Maven Esther is struck by it. You can see shock and sadness in her eyes. She says nothing, but then eventually she lowers her head and just kind of nods quietly, almost as if she expected something like that. It happens a lot in their world. They're all mercenaries, Maven Esther included, even though she's just the quartermaster.
Yeah.
She travels a lot, and people
She
do
was
come and
getting
go.
a little attached, so
Yeah.
tough when you get close to people.
Yeah, you can see she's
Um,
visibly upset, but after a second, she steels herself and she's like, "Thank you for telling me that."
Yeah.
It's
You know,
sad
if
that
you
he
want,
went.
we can take a drink to him later tonight when the camp is off. I'll come and we can talk and share a bottle.
That is a good idea. I actually have something saved for just such an occasion. Thank you.
Yes,
That's
Wayne
great.
was set up and says, yes. And see what Pat Lamb on the back says, and he's a great listener. You know, he really listens a lot. He's a great speaker. I mean, he really has helped me come to terms with my feelings. I think, you know, him taking some initiative here, and he's also, you know, he's a cleric of the cloth. You know, I feel like he's a really strong candidate for Get
Maybe Nestor just whips like a sharp look at you, and is like, "What do you want, girl? Just out with
She
it.
says, she says,
Don't try to
listen.
play a player."
She says, listen. I am just trying to say that he's a cleric, and you're going through a really tough time. I just want you to know that he's here for you. You Westerners stick together. You know, she gives her a smile and says, I'm still grateful for the fact of the dagger. I just want to make sure that you're happy and your needs are filled. And she says, she bows and she leaves.
Oh, we got a message
Oh
here.
yeah, he
Sound guy. He's just full rebooting.
All right. Well, I guess I only see the party leader this time. I guess, huh?
Yeah. Well, give it another 5 minutes because you're gonna have to reset the camera.
Yep.
So
Again, guys. Tonight is.
it's just how it rolls sometimes.
Listen, guys. Dude, this is like life. Dude, you get knocked out, you come back. So we'll be back. When we get the situation, so like 5-10 minutes max.
Yeah.
And then we'll keep it pushing. We'll consider this, I guess, at this point, our break. So
Yeah, at this point, I'll be back.
All right.